I'm almost at the studio, just a quick break here in the park. I'm a little exhausted from the way here. I think I still have a tiny bit of fever. I'm still freezing, but there's no way I'm staying another day just at home. I think that's enough of a break. It's also really weird, old dude with a big camera, and this is a children's playground. So now off to the studio. The only good thing about that I was sick was that I could take care of all of the business things. So today I can at least try and concentrate on making music. I would probably not take care of mixing because I still have a little bit of headache, but I was thinking about replacing the kick on the Final Warnings track. The kick that I have on the track right now just somehow doesn't really work, at least not with this half beat. So I was thinking about taking a kick of another track where I know that it's working and just replace it and see if it fits. This right here is my Not Scared project. The track is finished. I'm still trying to find the label, and here the kick and the half beat is working perfectly. The kick here on this track was made with Guys. That's my drum sequencer. It's like a step sequencer where you can just draw the drum notes in, hit play, and I can check here which sample I have used here in this pad thing. And it's my EQing 3 out of my own sample folder. And it's also pitched down by 1 semitone and is layered by a second kick. Usually it's a top kick. Here in this case it's a 70s and 80s kick. Now that I know which samples I used, I will close down this project and open the Final Warnings one. This is the Final Warning track. I have here the bottom kick that I will now replace with the kick out of my sample pack and pitch it down by 1 semitone. This was your final warning. And what I really didn't like about this track was actually the top kick. It was way too high, a little bit too loud, and had like a tone to it that I don't like, so I will change it to the one on the Not Scared track. So now I just need to find it in all of my sample packs. It should be the Vengeance Essential House 2, and then the kicks, and then the 70s and 80s kicks, and then I think it was 32. So now that I have both of these kicks, like the low subby kick and the top kick, it's all about EQing them right and make them work together, which isn't always easy, but I think it's the right way to layer kicks, at least have 2 layers for the sub part and the top part. This way you can control them separately, and if, for example, the sub part sits right in the mix with the bass, but you can't really hear the click of the kick and you want to make the kick cut through the mix, you can just raise the top part and make it seem being louder without messing again with the sub part that already goes along with the bass. Here at the very top is actually the sidechain MIDI part. I usually have it in a separate channel. It's routed to have no output, so you can't hear it. But this way I have more control over the sidechaining, and if I change the kick, the sidechaining doesn't change, so it's really handy to have it separate. The second one is the top kick, and the third one is the bottom part of the kick. And now let me open up both of the EQs of these kicks. And that's something I really love about the EQ in Logic. You can just hit here the Analyze button and see the frequencies of your kicks. This right here is the top kick and this one the bottom kick. And here on the top kick we can cut away a little bit more. We just need the higher frequency part. And you could cut away the high frequencies of the bottom kick to make it sound even cleaner. But here in this case I think I will leave it quite open, because this bottom kick doesn't really have a whole lot on the top frequencies, just like a small noisy sound that I actually quite like, and that might help the kick even more to cut through the mix. When it comes to EQing kicks, finding the right spot where to cut them is the most important. Here in this case, I cut the top kick right around 360 Hertz, because usually below that frequency you have like the bottom part of the kick, the main big peak that you can see in the analyzer. This part should be from the sub kick, and the top part should be everything that is above that. It might also depend on the style of your music and the samples that you choose, but for me it's usually between 200 to 500 Hertz. And just speaking about samples, I think the kick sample is the most important. If you have a good kick, it's a good starting point, a good foundation for your track. It will be a whole lot easier to mix the track. So try to find good kick samples, or just sample them from someone else's track. If you like someone else's kick, it's no problem. Everyone starts like this. And I think this way you will advance a lot faster. There are also some really cool plugins available where you can construct your own kicks, like kick synthesizers. I don't use them a whole lot because I always get lost in them and play around with them way too long. So I have my special sample folder on my hard drive with 10 to 20 kicks that I know that I've used on countless tracks. And every time I finish a track, I bounce out the kick and put it in the sample folder so that I can reuse it whenever I want. This way I can just work way faster, and really don't underestimate having your kick and know the kick and know how to work with the kick. It will make mixing and starting a track a whole lot easier. I think I talked enough about kicks. Now it's time for me to also change a couple of other things here on the track that still bother me besides of the kick. I might also exchange the clap sound, and I'm still not really sure about the main synthi sound. It still doesn't really fit to the track as it should. Maybe I will just use another synthi sound, or maybe layer it with another synthi to make it a little bit more interesting. All done with the changes on this track. I also wanted to show you some of the more advanced EQing techniques that I apply to the bottom kick. I cut it away everything below 28 Hertz because you really can't hear it, and it's just taking away space in the mix, especially here on this kick that I pitched down. And I also removed here right around 1 kilohertz, 12 dB of a frequency that just had a little bit too much of knock in it and just disturbed some of the other elements playing around this frequency, and I removed a little bit of the top frequencies to get rid of this noise clicky thing that was on top of the kick. And also because I of course still have the kick that has the top part on it playing on top of this sub kick. I also tried out Isotope's Neutron. It sometimes does really nice things with the track assist, but here in this case with the kick it didn't really help me a lot. So I'm definitely not using the equalizer setting it's suggesting, but the exciter is doing something that actually sounds really good, and I also love the compressor setting for the kick. I usually don't compress my kicks, but this compressor setting is really soft. Both of the kicks then go to my drum bus that then has the glue on top of it with parallel compression with all of the other drum elements, as I already showed you in another video, and that's how I get a really nice and punchy, crispy drum sound. And I also have all of the drums sound like they're coming from one instrument, from one drum thing, although they're all like put together out of one-shot samples. I'm all done here in the studio, believe it or not, but it's really already 10:30. I should be back home already hours ago. That's just the thing with making music, you just completely forgot about the time. I'm pretty sure you know that feeling. Of course, this time around it's again dark outside and I can only talk when I'm passing by lights. Pretty cold outside this time around. And no Vanessa. Very strange. Although it's Thursday, so she's probably out watching this Germany's Next Top Model stupid shit with her friends. Probably drinking and making fun of the other girls. But good for me, so she doesn't know that I'm extremely late. And by the way, I started the app, the app for the Patreons, which is working extremely good so far. I chatted with a couple of guys today. It's a whole lot of fun and everyone is invited to be part of it. I added a couple of new groups where you can talk about production stuff, find collaborations, and all these kind of things. You can find out more about this app on my Patreon website. The link will be down below. And also everyone from the beta team is invited to again use the app. It's now active again. And now it's just really time to make something to eat. I completely forgot to eat today and I took the medicine, so not really the best combination for my stomach. Here's the light, now I can talk, but I actually don't have anything to say.